Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the official YouTube channel of Amit Ranjan. Today, we're going to explore a topic that is not only close to my heart but vital for the health of our planet: the importance of national parks on Earth. So, let's dive right in. When we hear the word park, many of us think of a neat public garden with clipped lawns, bright swings and welcoming benches. But there are other parks too. Imagine sprawling expanses carpeting thousands of acres, holding rumbling rivers, puffing volcanoes, icy mountains and steaming springs, all home to Earth's most astonishing beings. These are national parks, areas especially set aside by a country's government for the preservation of nature and species. Among the earliest was the USA's Yellowstone National Park, created in 1872, soon becoming home to multiple beings, including the beleaguered bison, pushed to near extinction by colonial settlers. America's greatest idea began gaining popularity. New Zealand established the volcano-studded Tongariro Park in 1887. Virunga National Park emerged in Congo in 1925, while India's Haley or Jim Corbett National Park came about in 1936. There are over 6,000 such parks worldwide now. Protected from human activities like building, farming and hunting, these preserve wildlife and biodiversity. Allowing rivers, grasslands and mangroves to function unimpeded, they conserve ecosystems, habitat connectivity and planetary technologies, filtering water, producing oxygen and sequestering carbon. When managed equitably, they enhance development, including for vulnerable communities, through processes like ecotourism and biotechnology. They also offer visitors unparalleled gains. The World Economic Forum estimates the economic impact of such parks on people's mental health amounts to $6 trillion worldwide annually. This comes from the joys these parks offer us. As we gaze at their landscapes and creatures great and small, we realize we are part of an extraordinary panorama of life, beautiful, grand and full of love. National parks also represent the best of us. Their growth: UNEP reports commendable progress since 2010, with 22 million square km of land protected globally, shows humanity's efforts to save these treasures, often despite poverty and strife. There are many miles to go. Earth still has only 8% of land protected and connected, while 1/3 of key biodiversity areas, KBs, lack only coverage. National parks are home to wondrous animals, birds and Earth's most extraordinary plants. Foremost among these is General Sherman, the largest tree on Earth at 275 feet. Located in the Giants Grove in California's Sequoia National Park, General Sherman, aged 2,200 years, is iconic. While it towers over all else, the giant sequoias are so big, early European settlers literally made their cabins in their trunks. The Victoria amazonica is a water lily. While its flowers blossom only with the setting sun, its leaves grow up to 10 feet in diameter. Their 26-foot-long submerged stalks rival the length of the green anacondas these plants share their habitat with. Found in Brazil's Pantanal National Park, these massive leaves are also astonishingly buoyant. Single amazonica leaves have borne weights between 112 to 226 kgs. Australia's Waln National Park is the proud bearer of waln pine trees, dating back 200 million years, once shading dinosaurs. At 131 feet, the King Billy tree here is 1,000 years old. Today, as climate change engulfs the planet, these living fossils face threats. 2019, the heroic efforts of the park staff and firefighters saved them from wildfires. How did national park areas begin in India? The journey goes back to before India's independence. Two stages were involved in the late 19th century. India was seeing a massive destruction of forests. There had already been discussions about whether the colonial government should set aside some land for ecological reasons, watershed protection being one. Then come news of people clearing forests on huge scale, raising concerns about ability to sustain the colonial military, railways, etc., all of which drew such resources. This discourse became prominent, and finally, the colonial government set aside around a quarter of the country as forests reservations that provided the land base for creating national parks later. With the focus being on high forests and timber, however, these lands were mainly in the western Ghats, central provinces, parts of the Terai, etc. Very little land in other areas was conserved and thus got degraded. About wildlife, initial concerns started being voiced around the 1920s. These came against a backdrop of hunting expeditions by royals and colonies for sport, as well as bounties offered on killing tigers and other animals. This was decimating Indian wildlife. Frederick W. Champion, a forest officer, Jim Corbett and others argued for regulation to protect remaining species. Laws for animal protection were brought about, and in 1936, the first national park, initially called Haley, later named after Corbett, was established in then Uttar Pradesh. The destruction of forests continued though, as timber was the backbone of the colonial economy. Similarly, hunting carried on, and by independence, there was very little wildlife left. Conservationists were extremely worried, and in 1952, the National Wildlife Advisory Board, headed by an erstwhile royal, was formed. This created some game sanctuaries, small areas where ordinary people were barred from hunting. But there was no special staff to protect wildlife, and bounties on killing animals continued. The real impetus for national parks came in the mid-1960s when conservationists like Duleep Mathi expressed grave concern at how sharply Indian wildlife was declining. There was a demand for stronger laws, and the government then appointed competent officers to draft these. The Wildlife Protection Act emerged in 1972 and rules followed in 1974. These recognized wildlife sanctuaries and national parks, the latter receiving the highest level of protection. Commercial forestry and all hunting were banned in these areas. In 1976, this sphere was brought under the concurrent list, including the Center in Policy Making. Now, it will be injustice to our viewer that we are discussing about National Park, and we will not discuss about South Africa, one of the dense forests around the world. The origin of South Africa's national parks lie in the development of America's Yellowstone. The first park was made in the colony of Natal in the 1890s, there being 4 British colonies in South Africa then. Natal had a majestic mountain range called the Drakensberg, which has waterfalls and stunning views and resembled Yellowstone. At the time, it was recognized that South Africa's savanna was seeing the disappearance of wildlife because of increased hunting and population pressure, coming also from opening the country up to white settlement. In the mid-1920s, James Stevenson Hamilton, a game ranger in the Sabi Reserve in Mpumalanga, started an initiative to make the reserve a national park. The concern was that if it was only a provincial game reserve, the province could abolish it any time, but if it went through parliament, it would be more secure. So, a long campaign was led by Hamilton and some allies who managed to get this through parliament, culminating in the establishment of the Kruger National Park. There are 19 protected national parks now, managed by the South Africa National Parks, SAN Parks, organization. One of the primary reasons national parks are so important is their role in preserving biodiversity. These protected areas act as safe havens for a wide variety of plant and animal species. With deforestation, habitat destruction, and climate change threatening ecosystems worldwide, national parks provide essential sanctuaries where wildlife can thrive. National parks help ensure the survival of endangered species and maintain the balance of ecosystems, ultimately contributing to global biodiversity conservation efforts. In a world often filled with hustle and bustle, national parks provide a retreat where individuals can disconnect from their daily routines and reconnect with nature, leading to improved mental and physical well-being. National parks are essential hubs for scientific research. Scientists conduct studies in these protected areas to better understand our planet's ecology, geology, and climate. This research helps us make informed decisions about environmental conservation and sustainable resource management. The knowledge gained from national park research contributes to solving critical global challenges, such as climate change and habitat preservation. National parks serve as living museums, showcasing the rich tapestry of human history and culture intertwined with the natural world. Lastly, national parks are invaluable for environmental education. They offer opportunities for visitors to learn about the environment, wildlife, and conservation efforts. These experiences inspire a new generation of conservationists who will carry the torch for Earth's protection into the future. By teaching people about the beauty and fragility of our planet, national parks play a critical role in fostering a sense of responsibility for our environment. Conclusion. In conclusion, national parks are not just pieces of land, they are our planet's guardians. They preserve biodiversity, offer recreational opportunities, support scientific research, hold cultural significance, and educate future generations. As stewards of this earth, it's our duty to protect and cherish these incredible places for generations to come. Thank you for joining me in this exploration of the importance of national parks on Earth. If you've been inspired, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more content on conservation and the natural world. Together, we can make a difference. Until next time, remember to love and protect our beautiful planet.